Well, hello my spirit soarers, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Detective Pikachu. So, where we left off, we're investigating the scene of the crime, and now we have to investigate to interrogate the people and the Pokemon. So, we're just about to talk to this lovely Mrs. Davis, which she was she was brought up about her and her husband were trying to donate the jewel that was at least stolen. So here we are. I gotta give the voice to lovely Mrs. Davis. Detectives? Oh, I suppose my husband did say something about that. Your husband? That must mean you're... did I say Davis and Dennis? Claudia Denis, Sanjeev's wife. I'm sorry to bother you, but do you mind if we ask you a few questions? I do mind, actually. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The case has already been solved. Huh? What do you mean? The police said that Barnes is behind all this. So the matter's settled. We've heard that he's under suspicion, yes. But we can't be certain it was Barnes who committed the crime. You sound just like my husband. But nothing you say will change the fact that Barnes is the culprit. Barnes' partner Ducklet was up to no good. I saw it with my own eyes. Did you witness the crime? Barnes' partner Ducklet was involved in the crime? You look as though you don't believe me. At least I do have some questions. So, what is it that you saw on this matter? Is it true that you witnessed the crime? Well, I didn't exactly see it clearly. Aww. But I did witness some irrefutable proof. What exactly did you see? At the time of the incident, I was enjoying a cup of tea in my room on the second floor. Just then I noticed a bird Pokemon flying outside the window. A bird Pokemon? Yes, I clearly saw a blue bird Pokemon that had to have been Ducklet. We did find blue feathers near the window and in the storage room. So those were Ducklets. In hindsight, she was obviously stealing the jewel. I also heard a faint sound just before that, like something metallic. A metallic sound? Do you know what could have made that noise? No, I don't, but the storage room was ransacked, wasn't it? I suppose she must have broken something in the act. And I've heard it confirmed that Ducklet's feathers were found in the room. Isn't that proof enough that Barnes is the culprit? She's pretty darn convinced of her own theory. But all it's based on is metallic sound and the sight of the flying bluebird Pokemon. Pretty flimsy, if you ask me. Yeah. I'm sorry, Mrs. Dennis, but that information alone isn't enough to definitely prove Barnes is the culprit. Then hurry up and find whoever is, and get that jewel back. Isn't that what my husband hired you for? I get that she's upset, but she doesn't have to take it out on us. About Barnes. Mr. Denis seems confident that Barnes is innocent. Oh yes, I'm sure he is. He's always been too trusting, especially when it comes to Barnes. Those two really trust each other that much? I'm told Barnes has worked here for a very long time. Much longer, in fact, than I've known Sanjeev. I suppose that's why Barnes is always taking my husband's side. What do you mean by that? Whenever my husband and I have a disagreement, Barnes inevitably sides with Sanjeev. Even though I'm sure he believes he's being impartial, that lack of self-awareness is yet another one of his many flaws. I get the feeling Claudia is not a huge fan of Barnes. Do you think that's why she's so sure he's the thief? So about this Ducklet. Could you tell me more about Ducklet? Ducklet is Barnes' partner. She dotes on him tirelessly and is always by his side. Okay. You mentioned earlier that she might be involved in the crime somehow. Would Ducklet be capable of such a thing? Oh, why yes, she even helps Barnes out with his shopping. She'd certainly be capable of making off with a jewel. Well, whether or not Ducklet stole the jewel, the one thing that seems certain is that she really loves Barnes. About this Aurora drop. The Aurora drop is an incredibly valuable jewel. Mr. Denis told me the same thing. I suppose he did. But do you really understand? Can you even comprehend just how valuable it is? Huh? I knew it. Just the look at those blank expressions. Hey, my face always looks like this. As it is, I'm not even sure my husband understands the true value of that jewel. After getting his hands on something so precious, why would he even want to donate it to Rhyme City? So you're against donating the Aurora drop? Of course I am. Treasures like that aren't meant to be paraded about for the general public. They should be preserved for quiet observation by a select few. Huh. Hard to imagine her quietly doing anything. Thanks for your time. Now let's ask a lovely Clefable. All ears for mentions gossip. Oh, it's a Clefable. This is Denis's partner, I presume. Can I ask you a few questions? Whoa, what gives? No need to be so rude. What's the matter? Seems like she's real suspicious of us. Maybe she's feeling sensitive after the incident here. She still looks awfully suspicious of us. Let's try again later. Okay. So, Clefable knows and likes gossip. Noted. Let's ask a Growlithe about anything. It's Denis's partner Growlithe. She sure doesn't look happy. Apparently she feels responsible, no wonder she's so down. Maybe we should leave her alone for a while. Oh, poor Growlithe. Ask me anything you like. About the symbol of revival. What makes the Aurora drop a symbol of revival? 2 years ago, during the armor incident in my jewel shop, it suffered considerable damage. Wait, you were a victim of our incident? Indeed I am. Some Pokemon who've been exposed to R went berserk. The rampage destroyed my shop, to say nothing of the damage done to my jewels and other goods. By that time, I already had the Aurora Drop. I kept it stored safely in the shop. So was the Aurora Drop damaged too? No, as a matter of fact it wasn't. Of all the jewels in my shop, the Aurora Drop was the only one to remain unscathed. In fact, debris fell so perfectly around the Aurora Drop that you might believe it was being protected. That's incredible! I guess there's some magic left in the world after all. Ever since then, the Aurora Drop became known as the jewel that survived the R incident. People started visiting my shop just to see it. And thanks to all that attention, my business was able to get back on its feet. Sounds like the valuable jewel in more ways than one. What made you decide to bring it back to your mansion instead of keeping it at your shop? I decided to donate it to the Rhyme City. The Aurora Drop. But why donate something so precious to you? It's not just precious to me. And that's exactly why I decided to donate it. Mayor Myers has done his part in improving our city by declaring the start of Pokemon Friendship Week. I thought it was about time I did mine. So I wanted to donate the jewel that survived the R incident as a symbol of Rhyme City's revival. I hope that by doing so, I can help listen up not just my shop, help liven up not just my shop, but the whole city as well. Wow, Denis, I'm impressed. That's a wonderful gesture. I'm glad you think so. Not everyone is so pleased about it. And why is that? Forget I said anything. I shouldn't have burdened you with a concern over such personal matters. For now, I'm counting on you to find the Aurora Drop as quickly as possible. Understood. We'll do everything we can. Huh? Now then, Mr. Barnes, well, thank you not to leave the mansion until further notice. Understood. Hey, it sounds like the police finished questioning Barnes. Let's go talk to him. Yeah. Finally. Get to talk to the butler. Brandon Barnes. Butler of the Denis residence. How did it come to this? Why are the police so suspicious of me? Excuse me, are you Mr. Barnes? Huh? Who might you be? I'm Detective Tim Goodman. Mr. Denis has hired me to investigate the crime that occurred here. Is that so? My apologies. I am Brandon Barnes. Pleased to meet you. I work here as the Denis residence as a butler. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Do you mind if we ask you some few questions, Mr. Barnes? I realize you must be tired since you were just questioned by the police. Oh, please don't worry about that. If you've been hired by Mr. Denis, then it's my duty to give you my full cooperation. Why, thank you very much. What would you like me to speak about the matter? Let's ask about the Aurora Drop. Out of all the jewels in Mr. Denis's collection, he considers the Aurora Drop to be his most prized possession. He worked tirelessly to acquire it in the first place. You might even say Aurora Drop is the physical manifestation, the crystallization of Mr. Denis's career as a jeweler. I wish nothing but swift retribution on the thief who stole it from him. For someone who speaks so formally, Barnes is a pretty passionate guy, isn't he? Please, Tim, find the Aurora Drop, I beg you. Oh, don't worry, sir. We're on the case. So, about the time of the incident, I was away when the incident occurred. I wasn't until after I'd finished my errand and entered the house that I realized something was amiss. I heard Turner cry out from the second floor. When I rushed upstairs, I found him collapsed on the floor in front of the jewel storage room. So that means Barnes was the first witness to arrive at the scene of the crime. Did you see the thief or their partner Pokemon? No, nothing like that. No, wait. If Barnes ran up the stairs, you think he would have run straight into the thief. Not to mention the Pokemon partners they have. If he didn't see anyone, could they have escaped from the second floor? Did you check the storage room? Yes, the door was already open, and when I looked inside I saw the Aurora Drop was gone. I then contacted Mr. Denis and the police right away. Is there anyone else who can corroborate your whereabouts at the time? Unfortunately not. It was only afterward that Mr. Denis came out of her room to see that the commotion was about. I think I read that wrong. And the only others in the house at the time were Growlithe and Clefable. Naturally, no one can take witnesses' statements from Pokemon, so I'm afraid I have no alibi. And that's where we come in. The Pokemon that live in this mansion might know something. So, did you see where the culprit is? Mr. Barnes, do you have any idea who the thief might be? Not a clue, I'm afraid. But I do know that Mr. Denis and I are the only ones who can freely use the keys to the jewel storage room. Right. Growlithe guards the key with a constant vigilance, so I imagine it would be very difficult for anyone else to take it from her. I suppose it's no great wonder that the police suspect me, given the circumstances, but I would never do something so senseless. At least this confirms that only those two have access to the key. So about this ducklet of yours. Ducklet is my dear partner Pokemon. Just look at this photo. Oh, that's so cute! Oh, I adore Ducklet so much. Oh, look at that cute little face. It does. Oh, oh. It's so cute. Guys, do you see this? That's the Ducklet with you there. It's so cute. Cute as it can be. Yes, isn't she adorable? Just look at her feathers is simply beautiful blue. But that's not all. She's also incredibly clever and even helps me out with my work. Oh, excuse me. I'm terribly sorry. I tend to get a bit carried away when I speak about chocolate. I love her so much. Oh, no need to apologize. It's really no problem. You mentioned that she helps you with your work. Can you elaborate what she does for you? Why, of course, let's see. She runs errands for me, such as buying coffee beans from a local cafe. Oh, she buys coffee beans? Nice. Gotta have a duckling delivery service for me. There's a place nearby called the High Hat Cafe. Perhaps you've heard of it? She regularly goes shopping there by herself. If that's their go-to cafe, then it's gotta be for the High Hat blend. Guess I shouldn't be surprised that Rhyme City's elites have such refined taste. Oh, Pikachu. I asked her to go to the cafe today, in fact, but she hasn't yet returned. Could she have wandered off somewhere? Do you have any idea where Ducklet might be? Unfortunately, no. The feathers were found at the scene of the crime are Ducklet's, right? Yes, no question about it. But I haven't the faintest idea why Ducklet's feathers would be there. Just the thought of her getting caught up in the crime somehow. I'm so worried I can't hardly think straight. Oh, that poor Ducklet baby. Based on Barnes' testimony, I'm really not surprised the police suspect him. Yeah, if only there was another witness that at least can give us some sort of clue. About that, aren't you forgetting something, Tim? Huh? Barnes told us that Growlithe and Clefable were in the mansion at the time of the incident, remember? Oh yeah, that's right. Maybe the Pokemon saw something. Exactly. You can leave the rest to me. That's a good question then, Tim. Oh. Mind if I speak to you? What do you want, Great Detective? Have you finished questioning Barnes? For now, anyway. We just haven't finished gathering our evidence. Doesn't change the fact that Barnes is still a suspect. If you don't mind, could we ask you some questions? If you insist, but I have no intention of sharing confidential information with you. So, about the investigation? Are you following any leads other than Barnes? Of course we are. We've already collected statements from every last person in this house. Do you mind if I ask what your impression of each of them was? Well, I suppose I could tell you that much. Mr. Denis seems rather shaken by Barnes falling under suspicion, and his wife Claudia is reacting quite impetuously. She's been approaching us repeatedly to demand that we hurry and wrap up our investigation. Oof, that's gotta be tough. I almost feel bad for Brad. One of their staff members, Turner, has been very cooperative with our investigations. He's told us a lot about everything that happened up until he lost consciousness. I suppose that's all I can say for now. Thank you for your time. We'll keep all that in mind. The police can question people, but they can't talk to Pokemon. Interviewing the Pokemon around here might help us paint a clearer picture of what went down. About Barnes. Is the storage room key the reason the police suspect Barnes? Oh, so you know that much already? Well, no point in denying it. The only two people who can access the key are the homeowner and his butler, Mr. Denis and Barnes. I highly doubt Mr. Denis staged all of his all of this himself, which leaves Barnes as the only logical suspect. Not only that, if there were doglet feathers at the scene of the crime, and Barnes' partner is a doglet. Clearly, Barnes used a key to get inside the storage room, then had Doglet fly off with the jewel. That's my working theory. Duly noted. We don't have any decisive evidence yet, but we're going to find this Doglet that flew off the coop, and then we'll get definitive proof you'll need. Well, I'll be continuing my own investigation. Suit yourself. Verdict. There ain't no need to glare at us in that much minitrick. Minitrick. Harry, calm down already. We're not gonna get in the way of your police work. Brad's minitrick sure is committed to the job. Yeah, true. And he's been keeping watch, so if anyone tried to hide some evidence, he'd spot it right away. I guess he is helpful in that way, but... Manic! I just wish he'd dial back his aggression toward me. Oh? Oh, this is cute. Stay out of my way.
What did I ever do to you?
I love all those little mini actions they do. It's so cute. Very cute. Yo, Pikachu. Come over here. Over here, buddy. Alright. Let's talk to this Cliff Fable. Do we have time for that? Okay, so I'll leave it right here. We're gonna go talk to Cliff Fable in the next segment, so blessed be, show some support. I love you guys. Bye! And good night.